Welcome, everyone, to today's session. We are exploring delegation skills for leaders, an action plan for success as a manager, based on the third edition of the classic book by Lloyd, Finch, and Robert B. Maddux. Lloyd Finch, an award-winning trainer, and the late Robert Maddux, a management seminar expert, collaborated to turn delegation into a learnable process rather than a mysterious art. Throughout this presentation, we will examine how to master this essential leadership tool to improve productivity and empower your team. Our journey is guided by 5 core learning objectives that are fundamental to your success as a manager. First, we must understand that delegation is an integral, non-optional part of the management process. We will identify personal strengths and systematically remove the obstacles that hinder success. A key skill is learning to determine appropriate tasks and matching them to the right people. We will also focus on mastering communication and follow-through to ensure results. Finally, we will use delegation as a powerful tool to help employees develop, grow, and take on more responsibility. Why do leaders resist delegating? This is the delegation paradox. We often face self-imposed barriers, such as the fallacy that it's quicker to do it ourselves, or a fear of losing control. Employee-imposed barriers include a team's lack of experience or their fear of criticism. Finally, situation-imposed barriers occur when we operate under a crisis mentality, where mistakes feel unaffordable. We must dispel these myths. Anytime you perform a task someone else could do, you are keeping yourself from high-level management functions only you can perform. Management is defined as accomplishing organizational goals by working through individuals and groups. It relies on 4 primary engines: planning, organizing, motivating, and controlling. Delegation is the central factor that makes these engines run effectively. Planning involves setting objectives, while organizing assesses and schedules resources. Motivating creates a productive climate through training and direction, and controlling sets standards for evaluating work. Without delegation, a manager is simply an individual contributor and cannot achieve the best possible results for their unit. Knowing what to delegate is a critical prioritization skill. Use these concentric circles as your guide. The outer ring contains tasks others must do, such as repetitive routines and minor decisions. Move inward to tasks others will do if given the chance, including functional specialties where you can teach others your technical skills. Next are assignments where others can help you. Only the tiny core of your workload should be only you. By letting go of tasks that rightfully belong to your team, you free yourself for the complex management work you were hired to do. Selecting the right person requires strategic thinking. If a task requires immediate, flawless execution under strict deadlines, you should choose a top performer with a proven track record. However, if your goal is long-term team capacity, select a developing employee. This provides a necessary challenge to someone who might have been overlooked in the past. Most employees respond favorably to increased responsibility. Remember, you truly do not know what people can do until you give them a chance under the proper conditions. Effective delegation requires matching authority to the employee's skill level. Level 1 is simple fact gathering where the manager decides the outcome. As trust grows, we move up the stairs. At level 2, the employee identifies problems and recommends alternatives for approval. By level 4, the employee tells you their intent and acts unless you object. Finally, at level 6, the employee has total authority to act without further contact. Selecting an appropriate level prevents micromanagement while ensuring you retain necessary control over critical outcomes. A common trap occurs when an employee brings a problem to your desk and you reflexively say, "Leave it with me." This is upward delegation and it kills productivity. The fix is to change your reflex. Ask the employee, "How would you handle it?" This forces them to provide the solution. By following a 7-step process, from gathering facts to evaluating results, you reinforce critical thinking and independence. Teaching problem solving at every level frees your time for planning and organizing. Effective follow-through is a balance between abandonment and micromanagement. You must encourage independence by allowing freedom of action within the assigned level of authority. You support initiative by showing interest and helping only when a problem truly exceeds the employee's ability. Finally, you evaluate performance by monitoring progress at agreed-upon intervals rather than hovering. Monitoring is essential to head off problems, but the degree of control should be reasonable and established for the benefit of the work unit, not out of fear. Our troubleshooting guide provides prescriptions for common symptoms of poor delegation. If employees say they are too busy, verify their actual workloads before deciding to give the task to someone else. If you fear you won't have anything to do if you delegate, redirect your attention to high-level planning and motivating. If you worry about losing your own technical skills, remember that your value as a leader is in managing others and teaching them those operational skills. Organizations desperately need managers who can get superior performance from their teams. Delegation is a positive choice that puts the success of the team above your personal comfort. For the next 24 hours, follow this mini checklist. First, identify one routine task you perform today that belongs in the others can do it category. Second, select an employee who would view this as a developmental opportunity. Third, assign the task using one of our 6 levels of authority. Finally, when they bring you a problem, don't give the answer. Ask them how they would handle it. Start small and lead your team toward success.